Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla. So today's video, we're gonna do a little short, sweet, just quick to the point November wrap up. So it is the 29th, I think. And so I, in my personal opinion, do not believe that the books that I'm currently reading I will finish in the month of November. So I'm just gonna do my wrap up now so we can get this over with because I finished my November books. Anyway, so what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to share some stats with you guys, and then I'm going to talk about my 5 notable reads for the month of November. And the reason I'm not going to talk about all of them is because in the month of November, I read 18 books, and I'm not going to talk about all 18 with you. So we're just gonna pick the 5 like notable ones and give some stats. So let's get into it. The 18 books, I'll throw up my little screenshot here. My average rating for all 18 was a 4.19, which is pretty good, I think. I gave 7 books 5 stars, 8 books 4 stars, 2 books 3 stars, and then I gave 1 book a 2.5 stars. So I think I did pretty good. Show you guys my genre breakdown via Storygraph, and it looks like my top 4 genres for the month was romance, contemporary, young adult, and fantasy, which is interesting because maybe I just don't know correctly how to categorize contemporary, because personally I think contemporary is my least favorite genre. Just what I think is contemporary is not, or you know what I mean? Or like what I like about contemporary is not the only contemporary. So that's good. I kind of did a good like mix of everything, I think. Like I want to get the genres that kind of have a lower number of books read. I kind of want to start reading more of those. I had to throw this one in here because I think it was very interesting. It's very interesting to look at, but I like that Storygraph categorizes them by moods, and my top 3 moods were adventurous, emotional, and mysterious, which I think is silly. So I think next year I'm gonna kind of focus on stats more. I think liking the stats is kind of a new recent thing. And I also, in my 18 books that I read this month, read over 6,000 pages, and that's just with the ones that I finished in the month, not counting the books I'm in the middle of that I've already started reading for. So 6,000 pages is a lot. Like I think I had a pretty great month. So I'm gonna get into my 5 notable ones. If you want to see any of the other books I read this month, you'll probably see them in my vlogs that I already have posted if they're not mentioned on this list. And then the other random books, if you follow me or are friends with me on Goodreads, you'll see them there. But these are my notable 5. So the first one I wanted to talk about is the X Talk. I'll put a picture up here. And I listened to that randomly. I just randomly had the audiobook. So I was like, let's do it. And so this is basically a lady that works for a radio company, and they are trying to find a new show to do. And they come up with this radio show where it's 2 exes, and they like talk to each other and talk about like their relationship and their breakup. Well, the guy they get to do the X Talk with is not her ex. And then they kind of just form like they kind of fall in love with each other. That's the gist. It's a romance. Like, I give it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I loved it. And I have heard some mixed reviews. So in my personal opinion, I think listening to it was the best option, at least for me. I think if I would have physically read it, I would have gotten bored. But the X Talk. The next book I want to talk about with you guys is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Now, I'm not going to go super in depth with this because I do have an entire video on my channel where I review this book. So if you want more thoughts on that, you should go check that video out. But this was a kind of sci-fi book, and there were vibes. I enjoyed this so much. I thought that it was amazing. This is probably one of the best books I've read all year. I think everyone should read it. Even if you don't like sci-fi, I need you to read it. The last 3 I want to talk to you guys about are all books that are within a series. So I'm gonna tell you my general like enjoyment thoughts on them, but if you think you want to read it, go check out the first one if you haven't already. But the first of the like this chunk of series that I want to talk to you about is Wild at Heart by K.A. Tucker, and this is the second book in the Simple Wild series. This is kind of just a continuation of Calla and Jonah from the first book, and they just are living their best lives in Alaska, and that's that. So I loved this continuation. It was a touch bit longer than I think it should have been, but everything that happened in the book was necessary for like just the love, the journey. Everything was needed, but I think really it should have, there was a way that it could have been shorter, I think. Next, I want to talk to you guys about the book that I finished last night, actually, and that is Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman. Now, I feel like everybody's been reading these things or has read them, but this is the second book in the Arc of a Scythe trilogy, and I can't really say much about this book because it is the second book, and a lot happens in here, and a lot happens in Scythe. And just know, I gave it 5 stars. I was screaming at the end. I was shook. And I will be going to the library as soon as possible to find the toll and continue and finish this trilogy. I'm so excited. Last thing I want to talk to you guys about is Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Oseman. Yes, Heartstopper, we've all heard about it. If you haven't, where you been? Go look it up. But this is the 4th installment of the Heartstopper series, which was a webtoon created by Alice Oseman that I believe there are characters. I haven't read any other Alice Oseman, so yes, I might be wrong. But there are characters in this book that are actually characters in her novels, or like her novels are related to this. But Nick and Charlie are high schoolers, and they meet each other and kind of fall in love with each other, and one of them is bi, one of them comes out as gay, and they just are having this cute little graphic novel, just love, and it is so cute and it is so good. And I can't say, I don't know how to express myself anymore, but if you haven't read volume 1 of Heartstopper, just at least read the first one. But I feel like once you've read the first one, you like have to trek through the other ones because they're not hard to read. They're not that long in my opinion, and you can get through them pretty quickly and just, it'll warm your heart. So if you're having like a bad day, just read one of them and your heart's warm and now you feel better. Boom. Those were my stats. Those were my 5 notable books of the month. This was just a quick little thing to say hello and tell you how much I actually read, because I don't normally do wrap-ups, but I be reading a lot sometimes. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm watching Drag Race Canada, and I'm trying to read the rest of my November books. So I'll see you guys later. Please like, comment, subscribe, do what you need to do. Chit chat with me in the comments. Have you read any of these books? Do you want to read any of these books? Yeah, you know the drill. I say it every time, but I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.